You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Thursday, May 21st, a gloomy, chilly looking Thursday here in the Quad Cities. But plenty to get to on today's show. So thank you guys for joining us and watching the show. However you take part in the podcast and the show, we definitely do appreciate it. If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you for doing that. Keep doing that. Make sure you're subscribed. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please do so ASAP. Check out the chat. It's a ton of fun each and every day as well. We're also live on X. X has been very, very good to us as well. So thank you for watching on X. Make sure you're interactive on that platform as well. We're up on all the podcasting platforms as well. So put in Off Day with Matt Randazzo, whether it's Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, however you get your podcasts. Put in Off Day with Matt Randazzo and listen to the show each and every day. I listened to the show yesterday for the first time, I think, ever. I like to run. I run during the spring and summer. I stop in the fall, and I haven't started back up again. I ran 2 miles yesterday. I don't know why I'm so sore. I don't know why I'm so slow. Well, I know why I'm so slow, but that's a whole different subject. But I listened, and it helped me through great stuff yesterday. Tyler Tashman was on the show. Jake Brenda was on the show as well. And Don Morris Award winner for the male side of things, Kai Weinzierl, was on the show yesterday. So go check that show out if you missed it. We didn't have a show on Tuesday, but Monday's show was a lot of fun as well. We had Wrigley Mathis, new Iowa Hawkeye baseball player, committing there from Kirkwood. Also Tom Kakert on the show on Monday as well. So if you missed anything this week, go check it out. But we got a brand new loaded show for you today. So don't go anywhere right now. A lot to get to coming up on today's show as well. Coming up in a matter of moments, we're going to chat with Kyle Huesmann from the Hawkeye Report. He is in Omaha for the Big Ten baseball tournament. Of course, a few days ago, it was Iowa beating Illinois 10-6. Yesterday, Iowa, golden opportunity to get into the quarterfinals. They had to beat Michigan State, losing that game 4-3. Uncharacteristic errors for Iowa late in that game, leading to a loss to the Spartans. So they play again today at 2, must-win situation. We'll talk with Kyle Huesmann about everything going on in Omaha, big picture as well, and a Hawkeye that's on the cusp of some history as well. We'll explain all that with Kyle coming up in just a matter of moments. Also coming up on today's show, it was a special weekend here in the Quad Cities for the Quad Cities Steamwheelers. They won a game, which is a huge thing, getting snapping a losing streak, getting back on track going into the bye week. But in the process, Keyvan Rudd, Stud Rudd, with his 100th career touchdown for the Wheelers, which is a crazy number to think about. Supposedly it's his last year with the Wheelers. He's sure not playing like it's his last year. He's playing at a really high level. So we'll talk with Stud Rudd coming up later here in hour number 1 of the show. Obviously a Davenport Central product. I'm really proud to be in the Quad Cities and doing big things for pro sports in the Quad Cities. So Stud Rudd coming up later on in hour number 1 of the show. Yesterday I mentioned we talked with Kai Weinzierl, the male winner of the Don Morris Awards. Lily Furrow from Galesburg is the female winner of that award. She's on her way down to state track, but we're going to chat with her today before she leaves. 3-sport standout for the Streaks. Going to swim in college at South Dakota, but a good basketball player as well. And as I mentioned, heading to track in the 4x4 and also in the triple jump, I think. Lily, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, either triple jump or long jump, but I think triple jump. So we'll talk with her coming up in a little bit. I love the multi-sport aspect of the Don Morris Awards, and Lily is playing 3 sports, participating in 3 sports. And when you think about it, she's a college athlete as a swimmer. She could have easily said, all right, that's my focus. That's what I'm going to be doing at the next level. I'm going to focus on that. But she did everything. I want to talk to her about that and so much more. So, and then also, I meant to do it yesterday, and it's been a funky week. Your FCA Story of the Week focuses on the leader of UT softball for now 3 decades, John Alonzo. Dan Pearson will be along with the with the FCA Story of the Week coming up in just a little bit as well in hour number 2. So a full show today. Big news for tomorrow. We will have Illinois women's basketball coach and Clinton native Shauna Green on the show tomorrow. Excited about that. Great way to end the week. Great way to get into the weekend. And a friendly reminder, no show on Monday. I'm going to give myself a 3-day weekend. No show Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday, but heck of a way to end this week. Shauna Green on OTA coming up tomorrow. We're excited about that as well. A few news and notes before we get into our guests and get rocking and rolling today. And some good news, some big news. And I lost my graphic. Give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves as I go through and look at a few things here. Because it was some good news for a guy that's been really too good to me. And he'll tell you he's probably been too good to me as well. But an announcement came yesterday. Let me look at that. That's about as fast as I can do things. Gary Dolphin. Congratulations to Gary Dolphin. The press box at the new Field of Dreams ballpark that's currently under construction in Dyersville will be named after Gary Dolphin. There is no one better in the business. He is an absolute legend. Love Gary Dolphin. He's always been good to me my entire career, but especially this last year. He let this knucklehead, he I guess checked off on it, approved it. He had to have. Me being part of the Hawkeye Radio Network and doing the pregame show up at the University of Iowa, and he's so fun. He is as good of a dude as he is a broadcaster, and he is the best in the business when it comes to that. So a really cool honor for Gary Dolphin. And he's been good to me when it comes to this show. He's been on the show several times. I might have to track down Dolph next week. He always worries me with technology. If Corey Sheets is listening to this, but I think we can get it done next week maybe. So, well, and I do know that him and Pat Anger are golfing today, because I was trying to get Pat to join us today, and he's up in Dubuque with Gary Dolphin, and they're doing some golfing, no pun intended. So congratulations to Dolph once again. Can't wait to the fall. Can't wait to get back to Iowa football and doing the things that we got to do last fall. And he is as good as it gets. Hopefully it's not the first press box he gets his name put on. Every press box in America, or at least in Iowa and this area, should have Gary Dolphin's name on it, if you ask me. So congrats once again to Dolph as well. Again, friendly reminder, I have it in my notes, Shauna Green tomorrow on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. But we start today with some baseball. It's a busy, busy time in Omaha, and it was almost a successful 2 games for the Iowa baseball team, but they let one slip away. So it's a do or die coming up today. So joining us now from Omaha, Nebraska, talking Iowa baseball, Kyle Huesmann from the Hawkeye Report. It's been a fun stay so far. 2 very entertaining games, right, Kyle?
Yeah, and I've always said that the Big Ten tournament is one of my, I've been to a couple Final Fours of the women's basketball tournament, so those are certainly at the top of the list. But in terms of yearly things that I get to do, the Big Ten tournament is always my favorite because of not only just getting to watch Iowa baseball, but then, the games that surround you. There's 4 games in one day, so you get to pick and choose. Go sit in the stands for a little bit, go sit in the press box for a little bit, go watch a game at the hotel. It's just my favorite time to watch a ton of baseball and get to see some baseball where I don't have to cover it, tweet about it and stuff like that. Just get to go sit in the stands and watch some games. But yeah, I'll always really enjoy being out here in Omaha for the Big Ten tournament.
It's been a good week so far for Iowa. Obviously 1-1 in the losers bracket today against Purdue. We'll get to that game here in a little bit. I want to start with the first game in Illinois. Obviously a team that we've talked about this year on the show, and similar to Iowa, and Iowa spotted them 4 runs, not ideal. Kind of talk about game 1 there, and Iowa dug themselves a hole, but played well later, came back and won that game 10-6.
Yeah, it was an interesting opener because you looked at the bracket when the bracket was officially set, and you looked at Michigan and Ohio State were down at the bottom of the bracket, and Washington, who doesn't have a great record, but it's still a pretty tough team, as we've seen. They are now into the quarterfinals. Iowa avoided all 3 of those teams. So you looked at the bracket and you felt like Iowa was in a really good position to maybe start 2-0, and obviously to do that they needed to beat Illinois. And Maddox Freeze has just been a little bit rough. The Nebraska series, the Purdue series, and then against Illinois, it just hasn't been great down the stretch, and gives up 4 in the first inning. And it was kind of like, man, this is just not at all what you need to do in the Big Ten tournament. When you start talking about trying to make a run and things like that, you need your pitching to not only be good, but you need it to be efficient as well. So you can, you don't have to go to the bullpen as much and things like that. And 4 runs on the top of the first was not the way that you wanted to start that game. I thought their answer with 2 runs in the bottom of or 3 runs in the bottom of the second was really important. Not because it was getting late or anything. I mean, they obviously had plenty of time to come back from a 4-0 deficit. But to get runs early and get it to 4-3, and then they get one in the third to tie it, just to get back to level ground and kind of erase what had happened in that first inning. And then on the mound, Jaron Bleeker came in after 4 innings from Freeze and was really good. And I should say Freeze settled down a little bit, gave him a couple innings, and it wasn't one of those where it blew up and he comes out after 2 innings or something like that. Was able to get him 4 innings, which was big. And then Jaron Bleeker was great. I mean, he comes out and first inning was a little shaky, gave up a solo home run, had a couple guys on base, but was really, really good after that. Ended up striking out 5 guys, struck out the side in the 8th and had another strikeout to end the game in the 9th. And the reason the game was over with the win is because the offense stepped up and did what they had done against Purdue, and that's put up a lot of runs. Put up 5 in the 7th inning. That was obviously like I said, the second inning there. Max Burt came through with a big 2-out hit, double. Jalen Ziegler followed with a big hit, and then in the 7th when they had the big spot, knocked in a couple of runs with a couple of sac flies, just productive outs, and then Joey Narrett comes up and has the big swing, a 3-run home run. So it was really, outside of the start from Maddox Freeze, like I said, he was still able to get them 4 innings, which was super important. I thought it was a really well played game. Jaron Bleeker was great out of the bullpen. They got solid pitching to finish it out. Really, after that first inning, the pitching was good, and then the offense did what they did that whole Purdue series, which was just swing the bat and put up runs. And if you're going to put up 10 runs, you'd certainly like the pitching staff to be good. But if you're going to put up 10 runs, you give a lot of room for your pitching staff to have a few innings where maybe there's some guys on base, maybe they allow a couple of runs. And that's really the formula for Iowa to win with this year's team, just because the pitching staff isn't what we've seen in years past. They do give up some runs. They do have some innings where there's traffic on the bases. So if the offense goes out and puts up runs like that, it's harder to be beat because you give some wiggle room there for the pitching staff.
You look at it and you get that victory and an opportunity yesterday to get to the quarterfinals. A good game against Michigan State, tied at 3 until late. What was the vibe after that game with this team? Obviously now in the losers bracket and have work to do in elimination game today, but a good baseball game, a lot of good to take out of it once again. Your thoughts on the close loss to Michigan State?
Yeah, it's interesting. There were a lot of different opinions on how that game played out. It feels like a squandered opportunity because the 12 seed Michigan State you didn't know if they were going to get in that last week of the regular season. They really backed their way in. They were playing a non-conference series against Illinois State, so they weren't able to help themselves in that final weekend at all. It took Minnesota blowing a 6-1 lead in the top of the 9th on Friday against Nebraska for Minnesota or for Michigan State to eventually get into the tournament. So they get in, and I thought they had a chance against Purdue in that opener because their Friday guy Aiden Donovan is really good, and he was very good against Purdue. But Iowa gets to play a Michigan State team that, they lost that series earlier in the year in East Lansing. That was on the back end of Iowa doing all their non-conference travel. They just played at Penn State, so that was a really tough spot for Iowa to go out there to East Lansing. I still believe it now. Iowa's a better team than Michigan State, but a 1-3 record against them this season tells you a different story. Michigan State just has Iowa's number this year for whatever reason. They went with Joe Husak to start, and then they went to Justin Hackett after that. It was an aggressive play, and I think that was something that they had to do because obviously they, if they were going to make a run, we did kind of throw on the idea of can they make it to Sunday and not have to win it all and maybe get a bid to the NCAA tournament. But even to do that, you were going to have to somewhere along the line find a way to save some pitching. And they went into that game with the thought of if we can get through this game without throwing Kyle Olivo, you start Kyle Olivo against USC on Friday. And I know there's going to be some people that say, well, you can't play USC on Friday if you don't beat Michigan State. Iowa's not a good enough team to look ahead, things like that. That was just a play. They had to roll the dice there and give it a shot because, you're not going to make it to Sunday if you don't try to save some pitching to play against the USCs, the UCLAs. And it didn't work out. Husak and Hackett weren't great, combined for 5 walks and 3 1/3. But I do think there's, you do that same thing 10 times. There's going to be a dice roll or two out of 10 times, 3 out of 10 times where Husak and Hackett combined for 6 innings. And it's fantastic. Because they're capable of that, but unfortunately that one of the time out of 10 that played out, they only go 3 1/3, gave up a couple of runs. And Kyle Olivo was really solid when he came in, gave him a chance to win. They knew that they had to go to him because then at that point it is we do have to win this game. And as you said, close game into the late innings. Got a couple of runs. Iowa got a couple of runs in the 6th to take the lead. 7th inning was really uncharacteristic play that happens. Kyle Olivo gets a strikeout to what appeared to end the inning. Matthew Delgado, who is, a very good defensive catcher. Hasn't really shown it as much this year because his role's been a little bit smaller, but gave up just 1 pass ball at North Alabama last year. Set the program record for single season for runners caught stealing at North Alabama. Really good defensive catcher. Just drops the strike 3 looking and has to throw it to first and doesn't set his feet, overthrows Caleb Wolf. A play that, again, he probably makes 95, 98 times out of 100. And, just the one out of 100 time there that he overthrows Wolf, the game's tied there. And then in the ninth, Olivo had been really solid, really hadn't shown any signs of kind of losing it all. His pitch count was in a spot where you still felt good about him going out for the ninth. Gives up a 1-out single, which is not a big deal. A 1-out single is not a big deal. And then in the span of 3 pitches, hits 2 guys with pitches, and the bullpen's just not ready because it went so quickly like that. So all of a sudden you don't have anybody to put in. You got to stick with Kyle Olivo, and he gets a ground ball. It's just, in the 5-6 hole at shortstop, and nothing you can do about that. A run comes in, and then Iowa couldn't answer in the bottom of the ninth. So I think it feels like a squandered opportunity. Kyle Olivo was pretty upset after the game. You could tell that Rick Keller was pretty upset after the game because some uncharacteristic things with the air and just kind of how quickly it went in the ninth. Very tough spot to be in for the coaching staff. The other thing I should mention, Carter Monk, the pitcher for Michigan State, they've got to be ecstatic that he is a grad student and no longer playing college baseball after the season. The guy plays at Illinois State and again, this is over 3 seasons, 2 at Illinois State and 1 at Michigan State. He pitches against Iowa 5 times, 5 starts, and finishes with right around a 3 ERA. Mm-hmm. His career ERA is 6. So for whatever reason, Iowa just fantastic against them. He ended up giving up 3 runs for the game. A couple of those happened after he came out. I think there was an RBI single that ended up he got tagged for a run. But goes 5 2/3 was really good. So I don't know what it is. Carter Monk is just fantastic against Iowa. He's done it at Illinois State. He's done it at Michigan State. He did it in midweeks. He did it in the weekend series up in East Lansing. So whatever it is, he hates Iowa, I guess. But yeah, just a disappointing loss because you felt like, and again, it's not disrespectful to Michigan State, but you come into the week and you say, okay, Iowa has to play Illinois and then Michigan State, and that's their path to the quarterfinal. Yeah. You would have said, fantastic. The way Iowa just hit against Purdue, this should be a 2-0 start. They should be playing on Friday against USC, and that's just not how it played out.
Elimination game today against Purdue, a team that they had a lot of success against this past weekend, sweeping them in Des Moines. Kind of before we started, I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Yes, it shows that you can play well and beat a team. It's hard to beat a team 4 times in a row, but that's there's been space and games in between and all those kind of things. Your thoughts moving into today's game? I think it's a 2:00 start, Big Ten Network elimination game against a team that Iowa has their full attention coming into this game, obviously.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously, you look at it and now the path is very long. You got to win 4 games in 4 days, and you've already played 2 games. So, the pitching staff, so you're going to start digging deeper here. They still got, Cole Moore's going to make the start. They still got Tyler Guerin. They still got Logan Rundy. So they've got guys like Brolin Frost out of the bullpen. They still got guys that can throw. But it's guys that all season have been up and down. They've had some good starts. They've had some starts where they make it an inning and that's it, and because they gave up a couple of runs, walked some guys. So, if they're gonna play, if they're gonna win today, if they're gonna have a chance against a UCLA tomorrow, if they get past today, there's gonna be guys that have had up and down seasons. They're just gonna have to step up and be good. The question is, there's gonna be fans out there who say, well, they're not going to be they've been up and down all year. But that's neither here or there. If they're going to move on past today, have a chance against UCLA tomorrow, those guys just have to be good. The guys that are left have to be good, whether they're out of the bullpen or making the start. So the path is long. But what I will say is that a Rick Keller ball club is not going to come out against Purdue today and say, oh, the path's long, we lost, and just, they're not going to just get blown out by Purdue today. So I think you're going to go see a team that's going to play well. I think the bats are going to show a little bit more. They hit very well against Purdue, so this should be a confident offense against the Purdue pitchers, whoever they see today. But I think this is one of those where because the way that it happened yesterday against Michigan State, you don't want to lose today because then the look is kind of like whether Iowa gave up or not, which I don't believe they would. The look is going to be Iowa lost. They kind of gave up and lost to Purdue. It'd be really good to get the win today to say, okay, they fought back. They saw that the path was long, but they fought back and they got to win over Purdue. And then, whatever happens against number 1 UCLA tomorrow, that's going to be a tough battle, whether you were whether you had a full pitching staff or not. So I think today's a big one to just kind of show that, hey, we're not going to give up. The season's not over because the path became long to whatever. It'd be really nice to see him come out, get the win today, and then whatever happens against UCLA happens. But yeah, Cole Moore, you'd love to see him come out, and again, a true freshman, a chance in Omaha here to put together a good start and have some momentum to take into the off season. I think Kyle Olivo's another guy that pitched last night, pitched in a big environment in Des Moines, pitched in a big environment in Omaha. Those are steps that whether it matters at all for this season, they're realistically probably not going to play past this weekend, probably not going to play more than another game or two here. Those are steps that you take and start looking at, okay, next season, these guys have some things to draw on. So today is still really important for some of those guys. If a guy like Roland Frost pitches today, another true freshman that's kind of worked his way into a bullpen role to pitch in the Big Ten tournament, that's something that you can take into next season. So I think there's going to be some outings today that win or lose, whether they win or lose today or whether they win or lose tomorrow. There's some guys that are going to get to pitch in some big environments that are going to be back next season. And I think that's going to be really important for some of them.
Kyle Huesmann joining us on Off There with Matt Randazzo. Kyle, one thing that we don't want to overlook today is Caleb Wolf is tied for the second most hits in a single season for the University of Iowa. The record is 4 more away. He could tie it with a 4-hit day. You could do more if you win and give yourself more games to play. And it shouldn't be overlooked. I mean, he's had a fantastic season. I think the record came in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Your thoughts on what he's done this season and what he's got an opportunity to do today and maybe tomorrow as well?
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch that because, and I actually wasn't even, I didn't even know that he was that close to the record. I didn't even know he was up into the 80s for hits because I'm not necessarily looking at the stats every single day, what he's at for hits. Usually I'm looking at the opponent that they're playing and what their stats are like. But yeah, that's a really big deal to be in there. You start talking about how far back Iowa baseball goes. And he's currently tied with Joel Booker, who was a fantastic player at Iowa, ended up being a minor league player for several years. And that's an opportunity he has today going in against Purdue to get a couple steps closer. Obviously, I think they're going to need a win over Purdue. And he's going to get 4 at-bats today, I would think, against Purdue. So he's going to have a chance to get there if he wants to put up a 4-hit day. But realistically, they're probably going to have to win today to give him a shot to do that. But even just to hit today and get that solo second spot, that's a really big deal to be in that position. I believe it's John Knapp in 1986 has the record of 91 hits in a season. So it'd be really cool to see Caleb, give it a run today. Maybe he has a 2 or 3 hit day to give it a run. And if they make it to tomorrow, it'd be really cool to see him get that. Caleb Wolf is not the guy that you look at 88 hits and say, oh, he must have had a bunch of home runs. It's a lot of singles. He's hit more doubles this year. Not a home run guy. He's only got a couple this season. He had 2 in one game, which was funny to see him do that because he is not a home run guy. But Caleb Wolf is really one of the better hitters that I've seen in my time watching Iowa because he just does such a good job of he's not the guy that overswings and tries to hit. He doesn't try to hit home runs. He's a guy that's going to go up there and knows that my best option is to try to hit a double in the gap or just kind of punch one the other way with a single or something like that. And he leads the Big Ten in average. Right now he's up at 385, whatever that is. That's a really really good season. You start talking about 385 with 85, 88, 90 hits. That's an incredible season. So that'll be something to watch. Again, we just talked about the pitching. But go out and fight, try to get a win over Purdue. And this is going to be something to watch on the other side of it. What, win or lose, what does Caleb Wolf do today? Does he go out and have a really good day, put himself in solo second? Do they get a win against Purdue today and give him a shot to break that record tomorrow? Because that would be really cool for him to do that, especially when you start talking about, we've talked about the Southeastern guys that are on this team and the guys, the Big Ten did a really cool feature about, the guys on this roster with Gable Mitchell and Caleb Wolf and Maddox Freeze. And then Kate Obermuller was listed in there as well with all the guys that their dads played for Iowa and Caleb Wolf's dad played for Iowa. So it'd be really cool to see Caleb potentially get that record. But that's certainly something that I'll be watching today as Iowa plays Purdue.
Absolutely. Last question for you. Look big picture for me. Obviously, got to win today, and then it's a daunting task on the weekend. Big picture for the tournament. Obviously, UCLA is UCLA. They're really good. You talk about that team possibly looming next. Handicap this weekend for us. Is it UCLA and everybody else in this thing moving forward?
Yeah, I think you have to start there for sure. I mean, I think and the way you see it, they go 28-2 in Big Ten play. Certainly, they're the favorite in this tournament. It was interesting because they are Logan Redeman. Their Friday ace hasn't pitched in about a month. I don't know that he's injured. I think it's more of just kind of resting him so he's ready for the NCAA tournament. They had the Big Ten regular season title wrapped up quite a while ago, so they had the opportunity to do that. It sounds like he's going to pitch out of the bullpen potentially, maybe not. But over the last few weeks, UCLA's been winning. They are good enough that they cannot play their best and win. But they could have lost 2 or 3 to Sacramento State. They really had to fight to sweep Michigan State. It took a 10-2 comeback on Sunday to win that series. They lost 1 to Oregon. They lost one to Washington. They haven't necessarily been playing, they haven't been going out and just running people off the field like they were earlier in the Big Ten season. So that'll be interesting if they run into the right team that plays really well. I don't think they're going to lose I don't think they're going to lose tomorrow, whether it's Iowa or Purdue. I just, that's a team playing their fourth game against UCLA, playing their first game, a rested team, a full pitching staff for them. I think USC is in a really good spot because again, Michigan State, I know they're just going to be playing their third game, but Mason Edwards, Big Ten pitcher of the year, I think that's a win for USC. So I think you're looking at USC, UCLA, and then on the bottom, I think Nebraska, Oregon could be a really good semifinal. I just don't know that you're going to see, one of the teams that made it out of this double elimination bracket beat beat the top seed in the quarterfinalists. And part of it's because the 12 seed and the 11 seed were the two that went 2-0. So you kind of figure that once they're playing their third game, there's a reason why they were 11th and 12th. And it's probably because the further you get into that pitching staff, it's not quite as good. So the upsets are really cool. It shows that there are some teams in the Big Ten that maybe finish middle of the pack or even lower half that are still really good on the right day. I think that's what we've seen now is that Michigan State on the right day can beat a lot of teams in the Big Ten, and Washington the same way. But I don't think that's really helpful for upsets in the quarterfinals because now you have to dig pretty far into those pitching staffs. So I think you're going to see the top four advance. I would pick UCLA as the favorite right now just because you have to. I do think Nebraska, the crowd's going to be absurd for Nebraska. Yeah. It's going to be pretty incredible. So I think certainly you look at them as the two-time reigning champions as a possibility, but I think any of those four could win it. I would stick with UCLA though, because it's hard to argue with 28-2.
Kyle, enjoy. Do you stay win or lose? Are you staying through Sunday, win or lose?
No, I will. If they lose today, I will stay tonight and go home on Friday. If they win today, we'll see. My hotel is through tonight. So there's supposed to be rain tomorrow here in Omaha. So I would play at 1 against UCLA. Who knows if it's 1? Who knows when that game will be played? And I don't know what's happening if they win today with hotel and stuff like that.
It's and because the chat I'm sure is asking, we didn't talk women's basketball. There's nothing to talk about women's basketball wise.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've wrapped up the portal stuff, the roster set. Once this season is, I think I mentioned this last time. Once the baseball's done, I will have to go through and do kind of a full breakdown of the women's basketball roster. So that's something I haven't started yet. I'm kind of really just focused on baseball here the last couple of days. But once the season wraps up, I will get into that, and I'll have that. And potentially there's some things coming down the line that we'll do women's basketball wise. But yeah, in terms of news, there's nothing like that. Which I suppose is good because I guess over what we just talked about with the last transfer, the last additions to the roster. If there was notable news, I don't feel like it would be good, right?
Yeah, no news is good news sometimes in the world of college sports. When you get done, you also need to work on the golf game. Make sure you're ready to rock and roll. Cakert's already talking crap. The guy Randazzo's like a month from yesterday or something like that. So get ready for that. Enjoy the baseball today, my friend. We'll catch up soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right, that is Kyle Huesmann from Omaha, Nebraska, getting ready for a win-or-go-home game for Iowa today, 2 p.m. against Purdue. We got a lot more to get to. Coming up after the break, a very familiar face here in the Quad Cities, Stud Rudd, Keyvan Rudd from the Quad City Steamwheelers will join us to talk all about his 100th career touchdown. He scored that over the weekend, and then we'll talk big picture for the Wheelers as well. That's next right here on OTA. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. It's a bye week for the Quad City Steamwheelers, a bye week that's needed. They got back on track last week and got a big victory at home. Some good momentum going into the bye, but they know they have plenty of work left ahead of them when they get done with the off week. Plenty of good things still going on, though, including last weekend, some guy by the name of Stud Rudd scored his 100th career touchdown. And he's joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Keyvan Rudd joins us right now. First and foremost, how are you, my friend? I wish you were with me. We're doing some stuff here at the studio, so always good to see you. How have you been, my friend?
Man, I've been doing good. I definitely wish I was out there. I like doing it in person. Say what's up to the kids. Go play them in basketball one more time. But I'm doing well with a well-needed bye week. Yeah.
I want to talk about this team a lot, but we're going to start with you. And I know it's not always about you, but 100 career touchdowns, and it came last week, and a big game and a victory. Did you know you were at that point? Did you know that milestone was close? And then what does it mean to get to that milestone in this league?
I've been keeping track since I hit about 80. I started looking at it and realizing what I wanted to mean to this organization, what I wanted to mean to the league and my community. And it wasn't at the top of my mind at all, really. I just was keeping track. I mean, I'm almost at that milestone. Why not keep track of it? And kept getting closer and closer and closer. And, finally eclipsed that mark last week, like you said, in a much needed win. So what it means for me personally, it's hard to think about being in this position. Again, everyone keeps asking. Never thought I'd be in this position. Everyone has heard the story. If not, ball boying back in 2008, Coach Derek Reeves had me and Nick Eccles out there running around, raiding the locker room for pizza and Gatorade and fruit and all that kind of stuff. And you fast forward to this year, I eclipsed 100 career touchdowns. It's actually insane to think about, but it's a testament of a few things, of the position that I wanted to be in, the testimony to taking care of my body, especially at this age, where a lot of guys are barely able to get off the couch and go play with their kids. But I'm out here jumping over people, getting tackled by 20-year-olds and running into the wall, flipping over the wall, whatever it takes to, put my body on the line for my team. But it's just incredible, honestly. It's hard to put it into words sometimes.
You look at it, and it is such a great milestone. And along with that has come a lot of winning. And I know it's a team thing. The guys up front blocking on a rushing touch. I think it was a 3-yard rushing touchdown that got you in there. Obviously, people are used to you catching touchdown passes. Talk about the overall. Obviously, it's going to say 100 career touchdowns and counting, right? And counting for you. But there's a lot of people, coaches, teammates that go into a milestone like that, isn't there?
Absolutely. And I haven't even gotten a chance to relax and get a post off or kind of gather everything so I can say thank you to just anybody and everybody that was involved, because I definitely love showing love to that. I try to respond to everybody on all the socials when they're saying congratulations on all platforms. I try to make sure I get everybody, but that's the first thing I knew I wanted to do was celebrate with my teammates. And I think I said that to Kidwell, maybe. I said it to somebody, but I said the first thing I'm going to do is celebrate with my teammates. So right after I find the cameras, I turn around and just start hugging my teammates. That's really what it's all about. It's, I definitely couldn't do this on my own. There's a lot of people that went into this. They would definitely be getting their love here pretty soon once I get a moment to relax. But that's what almost got me, along with that tribute video. I wasn't expecting that at all. And once it was over and I looked and saw my teammates, it almost got me. Like I almost cried, but it didn't catch me yet. But it was a huge moment, and I think that's how I know this game is something that I love dearly, because football is a team sport, and what hit me the most was just seeing my teammates showing love, and that was overly appreciated.
You look at a moment like that, and you get the win. We're going to talk more about the team here in a second. I think it was last year out here at the house where you're like, I'm going to let you guys know I'm going to play one more season next year. A little breaking news. I think you broke it here on the show. I got to ask, I mean, you're still playing a high level. Are you sure that one more year things, is that for sure?
Everybody keeps asking me. I was like, well, they must not have seen what I said on Matt's show. But if they hadn't seen it, then maybe I could say something else. But we'll see. It was just, not trying to toot my own horn, but once I jumped over that DB the other day, I was like, oh, I still got it. I should still, because everyone's always asking, Rudd, I ain't seen you jump over. I ain't seen you do your trademark. And then sure enough, caught someone slipping. Went right over his head. So I was like, okay, the body's still good, which I had already knew. But that'll be a conversation with my family. My mom and I have already kind of talked about it. I ain't going to throw no spoilers out there yet. But it's definitely a conversation that's been had, and some moments with my family that have, put into perspective what I can do and how I can do it.
You've had the records. You've had the wins. You've had the moments and victory, all those. You play for the love of the game, and I think people see that. Can you talk to that a little bit, because you are still and you are a kid. Don't be saying old stuff. I'm old. You're a young pup still. But okay, all right.
I did that. That means it's coming from me.
But I mean, you love playing this game, don't you?
Again, lost for words. I thoroughly enjoy this game. That's why I'm still doing it. That's why I'm doing the things that are necessary for me to be able to play at such a high level, because I'm passionate about this sport. I love it. I love it. I love it. And even though my dad was like, oh, you should have been a high jumper, you could have been in the Olympics and blah, blah, blah. True. But my passion, my heart, my drive, my will, my mindset was all wrapped around football. And I think it still shows to this day that I made the right choice.
Stud Rudd joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Let's talk a little bit about this team, because in the midst of a milestone and 100 and all that kind of stuff, you guys got a victory that you needed. And it's a different season this year, but you guys got that team win as well. And I know you enough to know that, yeah, the 100 stuff was fun, but I think probably at the end of the night when you were going to bed, you probably like, we got that win and we needed that win. Where's this team at right now? It's a different season than last season, but there's a lot of the same guys. There's familiar faces. What's been the difference between last season and this season so far?
I would say last season, that's our expectation. Like, that is the standard that we want to set for Steamwheeler football. Conference champions, reaching the conference championship, securing home field for the playoffs, dominating our opponents. That's the kind of football that we want to build around here. That's the staple that we want. This year, things are happening that have never happened in this organization before. So we're trying to get that figured out. We're trying to put out every fire to the issues that we got going on that is leading to, the record that we have right now. So I understand the frustration's high, but we haven't broke yet. That win was huge into sealing this team staying solid as long as possible to secure that we can make this run. But I think that's the main difference is we're going through a stage where we're not familiar with this type of football. We're not familiar with these type of mistakes. We're not familiar with this type of record. So everyone's trying to gather everything and put it together to get us back on track is what I would say.
You look at it too, and they're not, and you guys aren't you. But you mentioned, and we started talking before we started the interview that it starts with you guys. Kind of talk about that, because yes, there's a ton of talent in this league, but the margin for error is like that. I mean, if you make mistakes, these teams are so good. They're gonna capitalize, and you're not gonna get a victory. Does it start with you guys and cleaning up the things that that you guys have done at a high level in the past?
100%. Coach has been saying it almost every week. He can't go out there and play. The coaches can't play. The fans can't play. It's on us. We're the players. We have to go out there and execute. And it's really that simple. There's no magic tricks. There's no magic words. It's literally mindset. We have to fix our mindset into ensuring that if people are here to play championship caliber football, if they want to reach the playoffs, if they want to play in front of an amazing crowd, all the things that come with winning, it starts up here with us. So there's a lot that we have to eliminate to get back on track with that.
You get the victory last week, and I know that's big. A lot of times when you get a victory, you want to go play some more. I mean, you taste that win, you want to keep playing. But I know this league, I know the game. I know you guys need rest. I know it's great for your body, and although did it come at the right time? And how do you guys approach the bye week right now? Because that win's important. There's a big chunk of games left to be played still. How do you approach the bye week? Do you like it where it came? And what do you guys do from here?
I like it. I feel like let's see, have we been on bye week yet? No, how we were leading into the bye week, we had a whole different program set up. Like, we had an identity of we chop these wins up, we get the bye week, then we get the second half of the season, and that's where we really got to start sacking. We went to the bye week on a win-lose record that we were not expecting. But regardless of that, the season's not over. This has got to be one of the sharpest bye weeks. I think we only have one more left, but this has to be the one that's super sharp, and we come back firing on all cylinders before, our next bye week is 4th of July week. So we've got an interesting slate of football games before our next bye week where we have to start stacking these wins. It's really that simple. So coming back after this bye week, I'm sure coaches and his getting no sleep as well, up, drawing stuff up, figuring stuff out. Mm-hmm. And, us as players, spending some time with our family, go home for a little bit, but just know that once we come back or a little bit towards the tail end of that bye week, it's time to resharpen that focus into doing what we need to do to get back on track.
I think fans can look at it and go, okay, they're 3-6. They need to win this many or that many, or they need to win out. Or I think we can look bigger picture. Can you guys as players do that? I mean, can you I think you probably know that there's work to be done and you got to stack like you mentioned, but is it the next game with you guys still and getting 1 week at a time? How do you look at it when it comes to the big picture versus, one game at a time and making sure you don't stumble that weekend?
That's all we can do. You have to put the little pieces of the puzzle together to get the big picture. The little pieces for us is week by week, even on the bye week. So our guys going home taking care of their body, our guys sharpening their skills on what they need to do in their individual position. And when they come back, how can we put that all together to make sure everyone's leading each other in the right direction? So we go to Vegas, very hot team out of the West, obviously defending national champion. We head out there next week. So there's no room for us to come off the bye like, oh, okay, let's see, we got a home game. We can, count on the home field advantage, blah, 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 blah. Nah, we got to go on the road where we have struggled. And this will be a huge game for us to, pick up a dub, help build that momentum, help build that confidence up for us to make that next run until the next bye week.
Stud Rudd joining us right now on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. I got to ask you a little bit about and everybody knows it, but Davenport Central kid, grew up, you told the story about being around the organization for as long as you have and everything. What's this been like for you? You talked about the Olympics and things that you're a great track athlete as well. You talk about doing this and coming back again this year and maybe next year, wink, wink. What's it about this organization? And you've been the face of it for so long, and it's something, man, you have embraced. You love to do those kind of things and be in the community. Talk to me about that and why it's so important for you.
It's something that, again, didn't plan it, had no idea, but it turned into that, and I took advantage of it. it was a development curve that I had to adjust to very rapidly due to the nature of being the hometown kid, due to the nature of my type of play that draws the fans, that draw the attraction, most importantly, of the youth in the area, and just using the knowledge that I have off the field. All of that being combined led me to be in this position. I would never take it back. I embrace it fully, like you mentioned, and it's maybe I don't see it fully as other people do. I don't know when I will, or kind of see it how other people see it, but with the way that I do see it, I see how it influences people, and again, especially the youth. That's huge to me. I'll never take that for granted. And for people that don't know, I always say it. When I was a youngster growing up, I didn't have this type of, if I'm who I'm a role model to, maybe the youth, but I don't remember any of those when I was younger. There was no kids camps that from locals that we were going to, no one coming to talk to our class, no one coming to talk to us after practice. There was none of that. And I can't remember it. And I have a very good memory that I like to pat myself on the back for. But once I started to see that, I think I'm going to turn into that. I think that my journey is going to be that next person. Fully embraced it. You know, it's something that I feel had to happen with how the cards were lined up with my career. Of course, NFL was the goal. Olympics, But since I chased football, I went through the NFL. But had that not even happened, being here and being a fully embraced in my community, I thoroughly enjoy it.
You lead the way, but I think the organization does a great job too, being in the community and doing those kind of things. It's easy for you being a Quad City guy and doing it, but your teammates and you bring others along with you and they like that as well. Talk about the organization, because we've talked about the fan base and despite a 3-6 record, or 2-6 going into last week, still good crowd. I mean, that just shows how good of a fan base it is. Kind of talk about the organization. It's long been part of this community and probably what makes it special, isn't it?
Absolutely. We do a good job. Front office does a good job making sure we're in the community. We're at the school visits. We're always posting, like we have an event, I think this weekend with T-Mobile. We're doing stuff with the Hy-Vee bagging groceries at Hy-Vee with people. There's just a ton of things that Destiny and Macklin put us in the position to where we can give back to the community, because that's ultimately important. These kids see football players come in with their jerseys, their eyes light up. There's 9,000 things to sign. Can you sign our forehead? Can you sign our shoe? Can you sign our arm? Sign everything. Scrambling all over the place. Like, look how excited they are when we come there. Even when we're doing events outside of that, the adults that come up to us, hey, I appreciate you coming out. You guys are great. Appreciate you helping X, Y, and Z. All of those things feel great to give back to the community, because those fans pour into us. They pour into our travel trips. They are there before we get there with goodie bags. The fan club, they do an awesome job. Shout out to the fan club of getting us snacks from when we travel and things of that nature. And I know, I'll address it. I know we're not winning, so it's a little bit sour on the social medias, and fans are mad, and they're saying this and they're saying that. It's sports. Personally, who cares? It's going to happen. Like, we expect them to be upset that we're not playing good. I understand that. So the love's going to be there. You know, the hate when we're losing is going to be there, but that's what comes with expecting greatness around here and just being supportive of your team. You're going to have to battle. There's going to be wins and losses. You're going to have to accept those battles. Yeah,
you almost don't want the fan base to accept losing. You want them, and it's such a great fan base that they want to enjoy seasons like last year and second halves like this year, because I think this half is going to be pretty special as well. Let's do some fun questions. I know I've asked you fun questions here in the past, so if I duplicate, I'm sorry, but if you could have dinner with one person in the entire world, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
This answer will probably never change. It's going to be my grandpa, Johnny Rudd. I didn't get a chance to have that type of relationship that I have with him, like I have with my dad now as an adult. And now that when I'm around my dad, I see things, I hear his stories, I understand the rhyme and reason of how I operate. And when I look at myself, I see myself in my grandpa also. And when I was younger, I would just go over there sometimes, hang out, we'll chat. He would kind of give us like $10, go get some candy at the store and all those kinds of things. But being an adult, knowing that he was into fashion, he was into sports cars. I'm not sure if he was into sports or not. I didn't get a chance to have those conversations with him, but I see some of him in me, and those conversations that we would have and how much time I would spend with him, it would be insane. So I would for sure take that chance anytime in the world.
That's such a great answer. Such a great answer. Are you superstitious? And if so, what superstitions do you have on the football field or the track? We'll go back to your track days as well, because you track people can be a little goofy too. Is there any superstitions that you might have or had?
The first thing that came to mind, instead of saying no that I don't, I'm not a fan of black socks. I don't operate well in black socks. And the last time,
is that a fashion thing or is that a luck thing, or both?
I would say more so on the fashion side. Luck, if you'd have asked me this a couple of years ago, maybe, because I just feel like there were incidents that were happening the day that I had to wear black socks. They were not in my favor. So black socks have been scratched for almost the past decade, actually, unless it absolutely has to happen. This past weekend, we wore black socks and accessories, so I had to. It's just something about black socks. I'm white sock gang until my dying day.
But you got your milestone 100th touchdown wearing black socks.
I did, unfortunately. So it's not that bad now. Now it's more of a fashion, but like a couple years ago, it was superstition. Something about black socks.
Is there any teammates, or have you been around anybody in your sporting life that you're like, that dude does what? Like have you seen it in locker rooms now when you're growing up?
Like anything or the black socks?
No, just anything, any superstition. Have you been
I don't think so. Superstition wise, no, nothing too crazy that I can remember.
I know you love the Quad Cities. I love to eat, and I love the Quad Cities as well. Shout out or give me, if you had to tell somebody that's coming into town, if you had to, hey, we're gonna take you to 3 different places, and I'm gonna have you try some Quad City favorites. What are those 3 places for you?
Here's the scoop in the East Village. Number 1 favorite ice cream spot. Love that place.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Smack. You're welcome. East Village.
Yeah. Hey, my kid. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm not that far out here. Don't be talking about how far out I live. Stop yourself. Stop it.
$7.85 now. You are.
I ain't leaving.
You're stretching it.
Yeah, I'm not leaving. Okay, so what's the scoop?
No, here's the scoop.
Here's the scoop. My bad. Here's the scoop. I'm writing stuff down.
Smash Pizza in Bettendorf.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's the order? What's the pizza?
I get the pepperoni with the hot honey drizzle.
Oh.
And depending on how I'm feeling, I'll get spinach on it.
Okay. You can leave the spinach, but the rest of it sounds delicious. And then give me number 3.
Depends on how I'm feeling. Number 3. Brady Blends. Shout out Carly at Brady Blends. I'm a big smoothie guy.
All
so right. We'll go there. I love smoothies. When she moved into town 2 years ago, I went down there and I explained to her who we are, and we used to have a smoothie nutrition place. Unfortunately, at the 4th Street Nutrition, the building that collapsed down in Davenport. So I introduced myself and said, "Hey, I'm with the Steamwheelers. Love to have you connect with Destiny and see what we can do." And boom, now she's a sponsor, and we have smoothies there, and I got a nice poster sitting up there too. It looks pretty good.
I love it.
But I would say that off the top of my head.
That's good answers. You might be looking at my questions. I was going to ask you, what's your favorite choice of beverage? Is it energy drinks? Is it smoothies? Is it coffee? Like what's your favorite beverage if you're putting something in a cup and drinking it?
Strawberry lemonade. If anybody knows me, I forgot. Strawberry lemonade, 2 orange slices. You got to put the orange slices in there.
All right. I like
Delicious.
that. Breakfast for
favorite.
breakfast for dinner, yes or no?
Yeah, food is food. Like, I'm not gonna wake up and eat a bowl of ice cream though. But I mean, you can have nothing wrong with breakfast for dinner.
No,
I've done it before.
I love breakfast at dinner. Movie wise, do you want to watch a scary movie? Are you an action movie guy? Are you comedy? What genre is your favorite movie?
I would say it's a toss up between comedy and action. I like those two, and sometimes if they're mixed, perfect.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie of all time?
Yeah.
Scarface. Second favorite, Money Talks. Third favorite, I might have to go The Mask.
That's okay. That's a different little trip down their top three. Those are different genres for sure.
I might have to go The Mask. I got a top 5, but off the top again, I'm only going off the top. So if it pops up, I have to say.
I like it. I like it. When you look at this team, is there a class clown, a goofball, a teammate that always, for some reason, has everybody laughing or joking in a good way?
Yes, Charles. Laughing, I'm not sure, but class clown, goofy, him. He's always doing his TikTok dances. He's a silly guy. I will give that to him right off the bat, like hands down. Silly guy.
All right, last goofy question for you. And this is going to take you back to your high school days. Davenport Central, obviously Blue Devil pride. I don't want to say what high school do you dislike the most. What's your biggest rival, high school wise?
Honestly, I would say it was North.
Okay, makes sense. It's got to be one of the city schools, doesn't it?
It has to be. Unfortunately, if I was to say anyone else, it wouldn't seem right. But North was where, again, this is me personally, because a lot of my friends were like a mixture of my friends were more so at North than West or Assumption or Bettendorf or PV or Clinton or Muscatine or Burlington.
Sure.
They were mainly kind of at North. Yeah, that's probably the biggest rivalry.
Do you still find yourself rooting against the Wildcats, or is that just like I was in high school and now I've grown up a little bit and I'm mature? Have you matured at all?
No, I haven't. And anybody that wants to know, don't ask, because after the game, I'm not going to say his name, but one of my former coaches from my sophomore year asked me would I be interested in coaching at Davenport North, and I looked at him and I said, it's either Blue Devil or I'm not doing it. So it's not that's not going nowhere. So it's DC for life.
I love that. Just wrapping up with you, Stud Rudd joining us right now and Off There with Matt Randazzo. Let's look at two things team wise. Tell the fans, hey, it's not been a great start, but what's your, I don't want to say pitch, but what's your message? Maybe that's a good word for it. What's your message to Steamwheelers fans as you guys get ready for the second half of the season?
It's real simple. Stay with us. Stay afloat. We haven't given up yet. I know you guys aren't. You're gonna cheer your butts off for us, and we're just gonna get back to the lab. There's no magic that's gonna happen. It really just comes down to a little HWAD, hard work and dedication. So we're gonna get back on track. Give you the type of football that you want, and I hope you're ready for it.
Last question for you personally, and I gotta ask it. What's Stud Rudd doing next year at this time? To be determined.
Soon I'll be celebrating. Since you weren't specific, I will be celebrating my daughter graduating first grade.
Oh, that's very cool.
That's what I will be doing, and then anything else, I'm not sure.
I love that.
I guess we'll see.
You know what? You can still go at an extremely high level. You still love the game. We'll bug you again before the end of the season. We're gonna keep. I'm gonna be that journalist. I'll keep asking the question. You can keep avoiding the question. But congratulations, my guy. I appreciate everything you do for the Quad Cities, for that organization. But big picture wise, most importantly for the Quad Cities. Next time we'll be ready to rock and roll. One more trip out to the house. I'll even provide gas money if needed. So hopefully it's not $5 an hour a gallon anymore by then. So enjoy the bye week. Always appreciate you, my guy. We'll catch up soon.
All right, thanks.
All right, that is Stud Rudd with the Wheelers, of course, joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. 100 career touchdowns, awesome milestone. And yes, they're 3-6, but there's so many more opportunities, and it's not vastly different. It's really not. I mean, a lot of the guys are the same, and you saw it from last year. So a bye week and then a tough trip to Vegas, but a win there, you're 4-6 and you're ready to rock. So a lot to look forward to with that team the rest of the way as well. We got more to get to. You're watching Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. For over 65 years, Lindquist Ford has proudly served the Quad Cities, and they're just getting started. Looking for a new ride? Check out a healthy mix of new and quality pre-owned vehicles ready for you. Need service? Skip the waiting room. With free pickup and delivery and mobile service, they come to you. No delays, no hassle. From routine maintenance to a full-service collision repair shop, it's fast, friendly, reliable, and always transparent. Lindquist Ford, serving the Quad Cities since 1959. Experience the difference today.
All right, Crawford guys, we need to come up with a new ad campaign. Let's hear what you got.
Oh, let's make a new TV commercial.
No, we need a viral video.
I think my face would look good on a billboard. Come on, what?
Right. We need your head to be bigger.
For heating and air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical, count on the experts at Crawford Company.
Like me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Ugh, you've got to be kidding.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines, and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, stripes, summer tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
Welcome back to Off There with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Yesterday, we started our conversations with the Don Morris Award winners with Geneseo's Kai Weinzierl. Of course, anybody watching this that doesn't know what the Don Morris Awards are, they highlight the multi-sport Athlete of the Year in the Western Big Six. It's a storied tradition. So many great athletes over the years have won these awards, and they picked two really good ones this year. Kai, we talked with yesterday. Today, we'll talk with the female winner for the Don Morris Awards. Galesburg's Lily Furrow joins us right now on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Lily, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
An exciting time. I know that it's a busy time for you. Graduation coming up, state track coming up, a lot going on. The Don Morris Awards. What did you know about the Don Morris Awards coming into this week? And did you know what it meant and the storied tradition behind the award?
Well, I didn't really know anything about it until last year because Carson Olsen, who was from Galesburg, got it. And then after that, I'm like, whoa, this is here. It was a huge thing that my dad wanted me to get. I found out Wednesday on the way to sectionals for track on the charter bus. Chapman comes back to the back of the bus and says, Lily, Mr. Young wants to talk to you. So as he's telling me, everyone's just staring at me. He's like, oh my gosh, Mr. Young's talking to her. What's he saying? And so that's how I found out. But I knew it was a really big deal, and I was really happy that I was the one who received it.
Kind of talk about that because, and what I love about the award, it's the multi-sport award. And anybody who doesn't know out there, you're a fantastic swimmer. You're going to swim in college, basketball player as well, going to state and track. So a very busy sports schedule for you. And I love the multi-sport part about it. What does it mean? And I'm old, so I remember all the names probably, but there's amazing athletes that have won this award in the past. What does it mean to be mentioned and to be put in that group, both current ones like yourselves, but then also recent ones as well?
Well, I mean, I was looking at the list of who's gotten it. I'm the 5th female athlete from Galesburg to receive it and the 11th total athlete to get it from Galesburg out of the 44 years. So that's really not a whole lot of athletes from Galesburg. And if you're looking on the female side, that's one every decade. So just knowing that I was the one to get it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was really happy. And I'm just hoping females and just in general other Galesburg athletes get it because it's a huge deal and it represents our school very well.
Lily, the multi-sport part about it, and today's day and age, like I have kids, I know what life is like. There's such a pull to every sport, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, but there's a specialization, and if you're good in one sport, you go play that sport, you focus on it. You're a college athlete. You're going to be playing or swimming in college. You could have easily focused on that. Why 3 sports? Why is that important to you?
Well, growing up, I was always super athletic, and I was always running. I was in tumbling, gymnastics, soccer. I did softball. I did cross country. I did golf, as long as swim, basketball, and track. Like I was constantly doing sports. So when I got to high school, I knew I wanted to be a 3-sport athlete. And then for my freshman year, I knew I wanted to be a 4-year 3-sport varsity athlete. So I was striving for that goal. I've been told, why don't you just focus on swim? Why don't you just focus on one sport instead of doing the 3? Because where I am in swim right now, I could be so much farther if I would just focus on swim. But in my opinion, I think my other sports allow me to be better at swim. I'm going to a D1 school that's competing with NCAA kids who go to the national meet, and I'm swimming a third of the time that they do in the regular season just because I'm doing other sports. And I'm still right there up with some of the kids. With track, I mean, it makes my legs so much stronger. Basketball, it teaches me to push through the hard things, especially with the physicality of it. I think being a multi-sport athlete is something that every person should do because it also delays burnout and it gets you away from the stress of just one sport and it clears your mind from things. I went through, it was like my freshman or sophomore year for swim because I swim year round on top of everything else, but I can't obviously do it all the time. I went through a time in swim where I just didn't want to go to practice, like at all. It was terrible. But with basketball being there and then going into track, it actually got me into like, no, like actually I can do this. It's not that bad. I'm going to see my friends. And it got me away from the, I don't want to go to practice. I don't want to do this anymore. And it was just I think everyone should do it.
Lily, you look at it too, and you're good at all of them. You're going to state for track. We'll talk about that in a second. There's probably your best sport and your favorite sport. I don't know if they're the same. So I want to ask, probably your best sport is swimming. Obviously you're doing that in college. Is that your favorite? Do they match up or is it what time of year it is? Take me through that thought process of your sports.
Swim is definitely my favorite and I'm the best at it, but track is a close second. I mean, track is just one of those things where like, yeah, I want to do well. I want to exceed in it and like excel and do great things, but it's also the sport that I know that I can have fun with without ruining me mentally. Swim has so much mental aspect to it and it breaks you down after periods of time. Track it's kind of the same thing, but I'm there with my cousins. I'm doing it with family. My mom's my coach. My aunt's my coach. I'm there with my cousins. And then the head coach coached my aunt who it's just a whole thing. Like I know everyone on the team. I know the coaching staff. It's a fun time and I'm able to do well while having.
Absolutely. Lily Furrow joining us right now on Off Day with Matt Randazzo, the Don Morris Award winner for the females, Galesburg three-star athlete, excuse me. Lily, you look at it and you have state coming up. You're on your way. How do you tackle? How do you get ready for? How do you prepare for your last big sporting event in a Silver Streaks uniform and being at the state meet?
I'm ready for the long weekend aspect of it. This whole weekend kind of into last week, we were focusing really on quality over quantity, which is the taper part of our season, where we're getting in quality reps rather than quantity. You don't want to be burnt out. You don't want to be tired. We really focused on handoffs and just the technique aspect of it. I'm working on the little things in triple jump to tweak it to get to where I was last year, because right now I'm not where I was due to an injury. It's just fixing the little things and having fun and getting ready to run fast.
You look at it and this is a big weekend, and then what's next? I know graduation soon and you head to South Dakota to swim. Is this like, do you look at it as like, hey, I've played a lot of sports over my life, but this is the last non-swimming sport before I focus on that sport? Take me through that mind process after this weekend.
So yeah, graduation's this Sunday. So I'm hoping to come back with some state medals and wear them at graduation.
There you go.
After high school sports are over, I'm definitely going to be like, whoa, like I'm never going to run on a track team. I'm never going to run with the relay. I'm never going to push someone down at the post to get a basket in or go for a rebound against another person. It's definitely like, this is it. But throughout the summer, I was for a club team up in Iowa, and then I swim here locally as well. So I'm kind of double dutying in 2 spots. And I'm with the same people. I'm with my same friends. I'm with the same coaches that coached me during high school. So it's not like, I'm trying not to think of it as like, wow, I'm done. I'm trying to think of it, it's a new stepping stone. It's a new chapter that's unfolding. And it's not something that I'm leaving behind and just forgetting about.
Absolutely. Lily Furrow joining us right now on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Lily, I got to talk to you about that basketball season because it was pretty special. We had some teammates on, coach on several times. What was it like? It might not be my favorite sport. Like, I don't want to make the girls on the basketball team mad or coach if she's watching this. But I know you love doing it. How special was not just the season, but your whole career at Galesburg and playing basketball for the Silver Streaks?
Knowing that I was part of such a huge, successful program and having Coach DeMott as my coach, it's like amazing. Granted, the season didn't go how I wanted just because things didn't go in my favor. I got hurt. I got really sick before the last game. But the people that were there who were supporting our team because of the success that we went through, just seeing this at the sectional title game, the stadium full with people, whether they were family, friends, spectators, people from not around the area just coming to watch. I mean, it's a huge thing. Like, I'm going to remember that forever. The girls are great. I mean, we're such a strong team, and we have so much new people coming in as well that are going to help us in so many different ways. And I'm excited to see what it's going to go with.
Absolutely. Lily, before we let you go, I got to ask some of my dumb questions that I always have. If you could have dinner with one person, dead, alive, whatever you wanted to do, who would it be and why?
I feel like this question was asked when we did it with the basketball captains. I don't remember who I said.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Well, I won't make you match it up. Is there somebody new?
Not right now.
No, that's good. Do you remember? You don't remember who it was before?
No, I don't. I think I probably said like Regan Smith or Michael Phelps, who are like great athletes, like swimmers.
Yeah, that makes sense. That would definitely make sense, for sure. Are you superstitious?
Before basketball games, when we do the line, like for the national anthem, we'd stand front and back with each other, and then we would hold pinkies front and back. My cousin Ella would always stand in front of me, and we would squeeze our pinkies 3 times, which referred to I love you, before every single game. Didn't matter if it was home, didn't matter if it was away, didn't matter if I did it first or if she did it first. We'd do it. It was just part of our thing. And then for swim and track, I'm constantly yawning. I don't know why. I'm not tired. It's like how I breathe or something. It's something I have to do. Like my coach for swim, she'll say like, uh-oh, she's not yawning. This isn't going to be good.
Oh, no.
Or like she'll be like, oh, she's yawning. Like this is going to be good. She's ready to swim. And then I also crack my left ankle. I don't know how many times until I feel like it's good to go. Because if I don't crack it, I feel like I'm not going to do anything. It's really weird.
So yes, you're superstitious. A lot of superstitious. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love all that. Breakfast for dinner, yes or no?
Yes, 100%.
A lot.
We don't have it a lot at my house, but I love breakfast for dinner. I think it's so yummy. And because I think it's really yummy. And the breakfast, I usually have like a bagel every morning, but then when we do it for dinner, we have like French toast, we cook egg, we have sausage. It's just so much more of like a meal, I feel like, than what I just have my meat. I
love it. Now I'm hungry. Movie wise, are you action, scary, humor,
not
funny?
Scary. I will not watch it. I refuse to watch horror.
So, action or funny? Which one?
I like funny movies.
Do you have a favorite movie?
I don't have a favorite movie. I mean, one of the movies I've recently watched, it's called I have the book right here. I don't know where it's at. It's called it's not Summer Without You. Oh wait, okay. No, I lied. It's the people you meet on vacation, or the people we meet on vacation. I haven't read the book yet, but I've seen the movie 3 times.
All right. And that's a good one. That's definitely a good one as well. All right, you play a lot of sports, and you covered all of them, I think, when you growing up. Like, if you had to add a fourth sport at Galesburg, if you had to go do high school again, you can add a fourth sport, what would it have been?
Probably volleyball.
That's one you didn't mention earlier.
I've done volleyball, but I think it's a fun sport that I don't do with my cousins.
I love it. Before we let you go, just a message to athletes in general, high school athletes in general, Galesburg athletes in general, when it comes to playing multiple sports and winning an award like the Don Morris Award, because this is all these kids that tell me, hey, I'm really good at this sport, this is my ticket to college. You're going to college in the sport and you're still playing two others. What would your message be to young kids about high school sports and multiple sports?
Don't make it a priority. Still have fun with what you're doing and make time for friends. Once you leave practice or something, don't focus on it, because then that causes burnout and that's not fun. If you get upset about a game or a match or a meet, let it bother you for 24 hours and then move on from it. I always call it a goldfish memory because they have no memory.
I love it.
Forget about it, move on, you're on to the next thing. Just enjoy what you have in high school, though. The 4 years really do fly by. And I'm going to miss every aspect of it.
No, absolutely. Well, you're not done yet. Best of luck this weekend. Triple jump, 4x4. Enjoy graduation on Sunday. Bring back some things to wear for graduation. Do that as well. And Lily, best of luck in the future. Congratulations for winning the Don Morris Award. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Awesome. That is Lily Furrow from Galesburg, your Don Morris Award winner, and she's going to do good things this weekend as well, and we can't wait to see what she does college swimming-wise at South Dakota as well. We got more to get to. You're watching OTA on a Thursday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines, and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, stripes, summer tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
Welcome back to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. A friendly reminder, tomorrow on OTA, Illinois women's basketball coach Shauna Green will join us here on Off the Air. Excited to catch up with the Clinton native on tomorrow's show. It should be a ton of fun. Well, we want to get to our FCA story of the week, and a promising postseason is underway on the Western Big Six softball diamonds, and especially for the Western Big Six champions. United Township won 13 of 14 conference games this past season to claim the conference championship. And FCA's Dan Pearson reports head coach John Alonzo is cherishing moments and the people that has filled his amazing career.
It is played on a diamond, but United Township softball coach John Alonzo loves a softball circle. Looking into the eyes of hundreds of players he has led in 30 years as Panther head coach.
The kids, it's different every year, but the kids, they're a great group, and I've had good groups through the years. One of the more meaningful things is I've got kids on the staff that I coached that are now coaching with me. I think that is so rewarding.
Western Big Six champs this year, the Panthers have had their share of highs and lows through those years. Mostly highs as John Alonzo pours into players, coaches, and families.
It's a game built around failure, and you're going to fail in life, and it's how you recover from those failures. We tell them all the time, practice is a great time to fail, and just pick yourself up and go, and you'll be able to do it in the game. And it's the same way in life, the game of life. You get knocked down, you got to get back up, and you got to just keep pushing. Well, I hope they just take the fact that they were treated fairly, and that they take the amount of work that they put in into their regular life.
It is Generation Next for John Alonzo's UT Panthers. He has had and has former players' daughters on the team and coaching staff. And yes, his granddaughter's on the team this year.
I do appreciate him. He's put so much time and effort into building this team. Especially, we have such a good team right now. We can go all the way to state. The amount of time he's literally there at school from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m., 12-hour days, and he cares a lot about this sport.
Family extends to the softball diamond. That's softball circle. Alonzo, as a coach, knows he's got their attention and responsibility.
These kids are sponges, so you've got to make sure that what you're telling them and what you do is morally right, and you just gotta you gotta stay after them, and you got to do the right thing. You got to model for them, and that's what we try to do here at UT.
That impact will go beyond next year when he retires, or maybe graduates is the better word, along with his granddaughter. With the FCA Story of the Week, I'm Dan Pearson.
The Panthers got the postseason off to a good start earlier this week with a victory over rival Moline. They'll take on Pekin in Pekin tomorrow evening for a regional championship. We wish the Panthers the best of luck. Got to call one of their games for MC22 earlier this season. They took on Rock Island, and they were extremely impressive. John Alonzo's a guy that we've gotten to work with for a long time, and he's as good as they get. So we wish them the best of luck as well. We want to thank everybody for watching today's show. And also, by the way, your FCA Story of the Week can also be seen on Sundays and Tuesdays. Sunday nights on The Score, and Tuesdays on Good Morning Quad Cities at 11, I think is what they call it. So make sure you check it out on them. Those at those times as well, if I could speak to end the show. I want to thank all our guests for joining us. Kyle Huesmann was fantastic as always. Make sure you're following Kyle. Make sure you subscribe to the Hawkeye Report, most importantly. But Kyle is in Omaha, Iowa, Purdue coming up this afternoon at 2 o'clock, I believe. Winner, go home. Win or go home for the Hawkeyes today. Also, caught up with Stud Rudd from the Wheelers, scored his 100th touchdown this past weekend, so congratulations to him. Also, thank you to Lily Furrow. She's heading down to state right now for track, but she is the Don Morris Award winner for the female side of things. And then, of course, Dan Pearson and your FCA Story of the Week. Once again, hoping and pretty sure we have Shauna Green on the show tomorrow to cap off the week right here on OTA. So enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We'll be back for one more show tomorrow before Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you guys tomorrow.